Holy Priest is one of the most versatile healing specs there is out there. It can pump out astronomical amounts of AoE healing and has some really strong single target healing and fantastic utilities as well. This is a beginner guide for patch 10.2, which is season 3 of Dragonflight, and there is going to be absolutely no information overload in here. However, I am going to be helping you get up to and achieving heroic raiding ahead of the curve and Keystone Master. If you are looking at doing Mythic raiding or doing Keystones above 20, this is going to give you a really core foundation and understanding of the principles that underpin Holy Priest. First up, let's look at the stat priority. This is my priority pyramid with the stat that you're going to want the most at the bottom, which is the largest part, going up to the tip of the pyramid, which you're going to want the least of. So starting off, first of all, you're going to want as much mastery as possible, then crit, then verse, then haste. Of course, I do always recommend that if it is an eye level increase, giving you more intellect, generally you're always going to want to choose this. But when you're looking at enchants and gems, etc., and if you're replacing something at the same eye level, this is what you're going to want to generally follow. Like I said, we have some amazing cooldowns and utilities at our disposal as a Holy Priest, and there are quite a lot of them. These are the ones that I think are the most important for you to learn, and I'm going to be showing you today. But I do always recommend that after you're more comfortable and have had some practice in the spec, that you do look through the spell book and have a look at all the other spells you do have available. The same principle is going to apply to talents. I'm not going to show you through all of them, but I am going to show you what matters. So starting off at the top here, we have Guardian Spirit. Just like the ones when you go to the other side and you fly away from, this is basically what you're putting onto your target. You are going to increase their healing received by 60% and actually stop them from death. If it is astronomical amounts of damage that are coming in that is guaranteed to, unalive the player, then this isn't going to save you. But any normal damage that you either haven't healed for, should be able to survive, or just a large amount, it will save them from death. Then we have Power Infusion. You're going to put this on yourself and it's going to give you 20% haste. Then we have Divine Hymn. This is a very large AoE heal that is channeled and is your kind of big heal. We also have Holy Word Salvation. This is a huge heal and is going to add a lot of HOTS or healing over time spells to all targets, basically within a certain range. And this is another massive healing cooldown. It's absolutely gargantuan. Then moving on to the utilities. One you may realise already is Mastery Spell, because we hear about that a lot. This is managing to dispel magic effects in a large area in a certain radius, rather than just dispelling one particular enemy, which is fantastic. Leap of Faith is quite literally going to pull a friendly target to you, meaning that they're going to get out of damage or wherever they are. And then we have Symbol of Hope. This is a cooldown reduction for your party members and gives some mana regen as well, which is really fantastic. We have Levitate, which is, ignore the info on there. It's not a speed boost at the cost of health. Levitate quite literally makes them levitate and then works as a slow fall when you're going down. And then Angelic Feather is a feather that you can place, and you have 3 charges of this. So you place it on the ground, and when you or another ally walks over them, it gives them a speed increase. Before we actually get into the core kind of rotation, as it will, I'm going to show you the talents. So this is the build I would recommend. It is slightly more tuned towards raiding. Now, Holy Priests are fantastic raid healers because of the amount of AoE healing they can put out. Now, that's not to say that you shouldn't play it in Mythic Plus, but they're definitely more suited towards raid, and this beginner talent spec is what that is a bit more focused towards. However, it will play fine in Mythic Plus. I would say if you are playing in Mythic Plus, however, this talent, if I move my head down here, I would unspec from Benevolence, which is going to give you 3% overall healing extra, and go into Power Word Life, which is a heal when the target is at below 35% health. This is more useful in Mythic Plus because it's a big kind of single target heal rather than an overall healing, which is going to be affecting on all of your heals, which is more beneficial for a raid. Now, if you are new to healing, then the way I would explain it is, it's not a DPS priority. DPS have a rotation, tanks are very situational, and then I would say healing is more like a flow chart. you're picking out of a priority list, going down, depending on the situation that is in front of you. And these are all of the main spells that we're going to be using here. So I'm going to go through these from left to right and explain why we are using them. So first up, we have Flash Heal. This is quite simply almost like an emergency single target heal, and that's pretty much it. We then have Holy Word Serenity, and this is quite literally stated as performing a miracle, healing an ally for a large amount. And you will notice on the tooltip on the right hand side here that the cooldown of this is going to be reduced by 6 seconds whenever you cast Heal or Flash Heal. And you actually have 2 charges of this. What you will also notice is my weak aura down here. And of course our main resource here is mana. And then you can see there are 2 charges here and 2 charges here. These blue charges are actually going to be for your Holy Word Serenity. If I use that here, you can see one is being used up. The other 2 here, the orange ones, are going to be for our Holy Word Sanctify. I will put this weak aura down below in the description because it is incredibly useful. So, like I said, you can see here there is a 1-minute recharge on our Holy Word Serenity. And it is actually also going to cause procs on our Flash Heals that we should be using. And you can see that when I use my Flash Heal, you can see the cooldown is going down by 6 seconds every time I use it. And again, when our Flash Heal procs, use this because it's going to be instant. The next one on here is Holy Word Sanctify. And this one is actually one that we can place. And this is an AoE heal. So that's our very strong one. And this is going to proc Prayer of Mending. More into that in a second. So you can think of Holy Word Serenity as our cooldown single target heal, and Sanctify as the AoE variant of that. And with Holy Word Sanctify, the cooldown again is going to be reduced by 6 seconds when you use Prayer of Healing and Renew. So Prayer of Healing is a spell that we can use as much as we want, and it's a general AoE heal. And again, that's going to reduce the cooldown of Holy Word Sanctify. Renew is a hot or a heal over time that you can simply place on a target, and it will give them a buff. As you can see down here, it's healing 1500 health over every 2.7 seconds on me. So just to recap, Flash Heal, straight up single target heal. Serenity, almost like an Uber version of that, which is going to have its cooldown reduced when you use Flash Heal. And then Prayer of Healing, a general AoE heal. Renew, a heal over time. And Sanctify, a large placeable AoE heal that is going to have its cooldown reduced by Prayer of Healing and Renew. The next one is Prayer of Mending. You are going to want to use this absolutely on cooldown. And it's going to have, as you can see down here on my unit bar, that I have 7 stacks on me. So what this is going to do is it's going to jump around from target to target on its own and heal different people. So you cast it on one person, and then on its own, it's going to zoom around and heal different people and jump to them, which is fantastic. Use this on cooldown. We then have Circle of Healing, which is going to heal 5 injured targets within a 30 area yard. And you're going to want to pretty much, you can use that on cooldown. It's an 11-second cooldown. It's a really great instant AoE heal. And then we have Halo, again, which you can use pretty much on cooldown. The healing is reduced beyond 6 targets. And this is really cool. If we zoom out, you can see it quite literally makes a big halo come out of us. And you actually have the same thing in Shadow, apart from it's more of a shadowy version, which is really cool. But you can use this pretty much on cooldown as well to be healing a large amount of people, you know, in a very, very efficient manner. Then we have Guardian Spirit, which is going to put these wings on you. This is the cooldown we spoke about earlier. And then we have Salvation. This is going to heal all allies within 40 yards for a large amount. And it applies to Renew to all of them. And 2 stacks of Prayer of Mending, which is this one again. It's going to apply 2 stacks of that to each of them. And again, this one has a 12-minute cooldown, which is, you know, insane. But don't worry, because the cooldown is reduced by 15 seconds every time you use Holy Word Serenity or Sanctify. So just to make that simpler, whenever you use Serenity and Sanctify, which have their cooldowns reduced by Flash Heal, Prayer of Mending, and Renew, using these ones, again, Holy Word, Serenity, and Sanctify, that's actually going to then reduce the cooldown of your Holy Word, Salvation. So Holy Priest in itself is a very AoE focused healer, and it's all about managing those cooldowns. And that's actually really, really fun. Now, you may think to yourself, should I save these cooldowns? Absolutely not. Of course, you should with Salvation, but with Serenity and Sanctify, because the cooldown is going to be reduced by so much, you can use these very, quite a lot, honestly. And I wouldn't hold off on using them at all as a beginner. Now, again, I did say, this is more tailored towards raid healing because this is what Holy Priests are absolutely best at. You're not going to get as such a good use out of Salvation. And in a Mythic Plus environment, then you may want to choose this talent build instead, which is the very Mythic Plus focused one. But if you don't want to get overwhelmed, then don't worry, you don't have to choose it. The main differences is here is you're going to not be taking Salvation, and instead you're going to take Apotheosis. This is going to reset the cooldown of your Holy Words, which are the ones that have the cooldowns, like I just showed you. And you're going to enter a pure Holy form for 20 seconds, increasing the cooldown reductions of your Holy Words by 300% and reducing their cost by 100%. Another one that's going to change is the Power Word Life over here, which I spoke about earlier. That's the emergency one, below 35% health. And then you also have Divine Star. Quite simply, this is a boomerang. You throw it out, it goes in a line, heals people, comes back to you, heals them on the way back. These are the main changes that you need to be thinking about actively if you're going to use this different Mythic Plus build. But it's entirely up to you. You can use a mix of both. Again, this is a beginner guide, so it's entirely up to you. I did main Holy Priest for quite a few years throughout Wrath of the Lich King and Cataclysm, and also in BFA. So if you do have any questions about how Holy Priest works, feel free to leave a comment down below, or if you want to have an entire discussion about it with me, join my Discord, because I love talking to you guys about it and helping you all out. Don't forget to check out my other class guides if this has been helpful to you, and I will be having even more coming out shortly.